The moment a woman starts losing respect for a man, it never begins with something dramatic. It begins with something small, something he doesn't even notice, and that's the part that destroys him. Because respect never collapses in one day. It erodes quietly, and by the time he wakes up, the damage is already done. It starts when he lets something slide that he shouldn't have, when he laughs at a comment that actually bothered him, when he avoids addressing a boundary because he doesn't want tension, when he chooses peace instead of truth, hoping things will go back to normal. But they don't, because every time he trades his discomfort for her comfort, she sees it, she feels it, and even if she doesn't say a word, something inside her shifts. Respect dies in silence, not in arguments. And the irony is this: she doesn't lose respect because he is weak. She loses respect because he pretends he isn't. The moment a man abandons his inner truth to keep a relationship stable, the relationship is already becoming unstable. She doesn't need him to be perfect. She needs to know he won't betray himself just to keep her happy. When a man starts shrinking, a woman starts watching. Not because she wants him to fail, but because she needs to know if the man she chose is still standing in his own skin. And the first silent crack appears long before he notices anything. And once that first crack appears, something subtle begins to happen. It's the moment her eyes stop looking at you the same way, not colder, sharper, as if she's suddenly seeing a version of you she didn't notice before. The version that hesitates, the version that avoids, the version that says it's nothing when something is clearly breaking inside him. This is where the real shift begins, not in her words, in her silence. Because a woman's silence is never empty. It is evaluation, calculation. She is no longer reacting to what you say. She is measuring who you are becoming. And the truth is brutal. Once she senses that you're drifting away from your own backbone, she starts mentally filing that away as a warning. Men think women leave because of one big mistake. They don't. They leave because you changed in the small ways you thought no one saw. You start softening where you should stay grounded. You avoid conflict where you should set direction. You chase reassurance instead of giving clarity. You replace honesty with accommodation. And here's the shock most men never see coming. The moment you start protecting the relationship more than you protect your self-respect, she starts respecting the relationship more than she respects you. She won't argue. She won't complain. She simply lets the distance grow, quietly, predictably, inevitably, because she isn't watching how much you care. She's watching how easily you disappear inside what you care about. And that is the moment a woman stops feeling safe with you, even if she hasn't left yet. Before we continue, I want to ask you something real and honest. In your experience, what is the first subtle moment when you feel someone starts losing respect in a relationship? Share your answer in the comments. Your perspective might help another man recognize the signs before it's too late. What makes this even more dangerous is that most men think respect is lost only when a woman becomes distant or cold. But that's never the first sign. The real loss begins long before the silence, long before the arguments, long before the emotional disconnect. It begins when she stops trusting your consistency, not your words, your consistency. Because nothing breaks respect faster than a man who shifts who he is depending on the moment. One day strong, the next day uncertain. One day clear, the next day apologizing for having a backbone. The emotional inconsistency is what makes her unsure, not your imperfections. Women don't lose respect because a man makes mistakes. They lose respect when he abandons the principles he once stood on. When he says yes to things he used to say no to. when he lets behaviors slide that he once held firm on, when he starts negotiating with himself to avoid discomfort, when he slowly trades the man he is for the man he hopes she wants. That transformation is invisible at first, but she feels it. And once she feels it, something critical shifts in her mind. She no longer sees you as a reference point. She sees you as a reaction point. You stop being the man who sets the tone. You become the man who adapts to it. And the moment she realizes you are shaping yourself around her emotions instead of shaping your life around your values, her respect begins to collapse quietly under the surface. Because you cannot lead a relationship from a place where you keep abandoning yourself. Now, if you find value in these insights and want to help this channel grow, consider subscribing. It means more than you think, and it allows me to keep creating content that supports men on their path. The real collapse of respect doesn't happen when she pulls away. It happens when she stops believing you can hold the weight of your own decisions. People don't feel safe around someone who keeps shifting under pressure, and relationships are no different. Stability isn't about being unshakable, it's about being accountable to your choices. Most men don't lose respect because they lack strength. They lose it because they avoid responsibility for the strength they already have. When you say you will change something, but you don't follow through. When you promise consistency, but you deliver unpredictability. When you talk about standards, but you ignore your own. These moments look small on the surface, but they create a quiet fracture that slowly grows. Not because she wants control over you, but because she needs to see that you have control over yourself. Respect begins to deteriorate when she no longer feels that your actions align with your intentions. When you create expectations you don't meet. When you choose temporary comfort over long-term clarity. When you avoid hard conversations because you fear the outcome more than you value the truth. And here's the truth, many men learn too late. People don't lose respect because you fail. They lose respect because you avoid owning your failures. The absence of accountability is the real beginning of distance. Not the arguments, not the silence, not the withdrawal. What creates the gap is when you stop being someone she can rely on, not because you're weak, but because you're inconsistent with who you claim to be. And once that reliability fades, something deeper begins to shift, something most men never see until the damage is irreversible. Because the moment consistency breaks, trust doesn't disappear all at once. It dissolves piece by piece until the space where certainty used to live becomes filled with doubt. And doubt is the real turning point. Not loud doubt, quiet doubt. The kind she never expresses, but you feel in the way her responses change. In the way she hesitates before believing your assurances. In the way she watches your actions before trusting your words. This isn't about perfection, it's about predictability. When your intentions no longer match your follow-through, she starts relying on her own instincts more than your promises. She becomes more guarded, more observant, more selective about what parts of herself she gives you access to. Not because she wants distance, but because she no longer knows who she's dealing with. A man who is inconsistent forces everyone around him into self-protection, not out of fear, but out of necessity. And here's the part most men overlook. Respect is never lost because of the mistake itself. It's lost in the space where you refuse to address it. Avoidance feels like instability. Accountability feels like strength. And when she sees you repeatedly choosing avoidance, choosing the easy moment over the honest moment, she quietly adjusts her expectations of you, not out of punishment, but out of realism. Because people stop expecting from you the moment they stop depending on you. And that is where respect truly begins to slip, silently, steadily, and long before you realize anything has changed. Now it's your turn. What do you think is more damaging in a relationship, a single major mistake, or the quiet patterns of inconsistency that build over time? Share your perspective in the comments. The quiet truth is this: respect rarely collapses because of who you are. It collapses because of who you slowly stop being. Most people don't lose trust or admiration overnight. It's a slow shift, a gentle drifting, the kind that begins with small compromises that seem harmless in the moment. You start agreeing to things you don't believe in. You start avoiding conversations that matter. You start smoothing over tension instead of clarifying it. You start shrinking parts of yourself just to keep the peace. And at first, she doesn't question it. She assumes it's temporary, a phase, a moment of imbalance. Everyone has them. But when the pattern becomes consistent, something becomes unmistakably clear to her. You are losing connection not with her, but with yourself. And that is the real reason respect begins to fade. Not because you lack strength, but because you stop acting from a place of strength. Not because you fail, but because you stop standing behind your failures. Not because you disappoint her, but because you disappear from your own decisions. Respect is not anchored in perfection. It is anchored in integrity. When your words align with your actions, people feel safe around you. When your standards align with your behavior, people trust you. When your values align with your choices, people believe in you. But when those alignments break, even quietly, even slowly, something in the dynamic changes. It's not dramatic. It's not confrontational. It's just a growing sense that you're no longer grounded in the man you were when the relationship began. And once that becomes clear, the distance that forms isn't punishment. It's a response to uncertainty. Because the real reason respect fades isn't about dominance, control, or power. It's about something far simpler and far rarer: the ability to remain aligned with your own truth, even when discomfort appears. And most men don't lose respect because they aren't enough. They lose it because they stop being themselves. In the end, rebuilding respect isn't about becoming someone new. It's about returning to the person you were before fear, pressure, or uncertainty made you shrink. People don't respect perfection. They respect clarity. They respect honesty. They respect someone who shows up the same way privately that he does publicly. The simplest truth is this: when you protect your integrity, you protect the relationship. When you stop abandoning your values, people stop drifting away. When you stay rooted in who you are, the connection stays rooted too. So if you take anything from this, let it be this one thing: never trade your principles for temporary peace. Peace built on self-abandonment always collapses, but peace built on honesty has a chance to grow. And before we close, I want to hear something real from you. What do you think hurts a relationship more? Losing respect for someone, or losing trust in their consistency? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Your perspective might help someone who needs clarity right now. If this message resonated with you, consider liking the video, sharing it with someone who might need it, and subscribing to support the growth of this channel. It means a lot, and it helps me continue creating content that actually supports people on their path. And if you want to understand what happens when respect fades completely, and what it truly takes to earn it back, that's exactly where we'll go in the next video. Because sometimes, losing respect isn't the end. It's the moment you finally see what must change.